Hi everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody. I'm here for the Crafty channel Surf Something Inspiration team, and my prompt today is something big. So I immediately decided to go with a big title. So this photo is of Calen after he lost his second tooth. I found this stamp set right here from Big Picture Classes, and I think it's just called Tooth Fairy. And I bought this quite some time ago whenever I saw people scrapbooking pictures of their children losing teeth. I probably bought this 2 years ago, maybe, and I've just kind of been holding on to it ever since. And I've been taking pictures and documenting the date that Calen loses his teeth on these little lost tooth reports, and I just stamped that out from that stamp set. And so that really, this layout's going to be fairly simple because the large title, that lost tooth report stamp, and I had this one sticker that I've just kind of been holding on in my stash to use with some of his lost teeth photos. It just says, I think it says share that toothy grin. And so it was fairly easy for me to kind of put the basis of this layout together. Now I wanted to do something a little bit more decorative with the background, so I've cut 2 strips of this kind of teal colored paper, and these papers are actually from the kit that I've been working with, that I had in my stash. Is 3 different kits that I kind of put together to work with together, and so I just kind of cut down some of the papers that were in the kit. And I like the grays and the teals of both of these papers, but I'm just kind of piecing it together. I've got one side of the layout with about a 1-inch border, and then the other side has a little bit larger of a border. And I'm going to use my Sakura Pen Touch 1.0 millimeter pen in white, and it's their opaque fine point pen, and I'm going to actually outline with a little dotted line, or like a faux stitching line around that gray paper. And this pen is actually fairly new to me, but I really like the way that the white shows up on the darker backgrounds. I'm just kind of using a little bit of scrap paper to kind of go off the edge if I need to. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do. I thought about just doing the faux stitching on the sides, but I ended up doing all 4 sides of this gray piece of paper that I've put here in the middle. So I want to say the left border is about 1 inch and the right border is probably, let's see, about 1.5 inches, and there you go. And I just used my grid mat to kind of line up those pages, or those strips, to make sure that it equaled still a 12 by 12. So I've got my photo of Calen. I'm just trimming down the sides so I have even white borders around all sides of it. And this is just, again, as I said, this is him losing tooth number 2. Now I have tooth number 1 photos as well, but I liked the colors of his clothing in this one to go with the gray and the teal background. Now these large alphas are actually from the Pink Paisley Yuletide collection, and it's just the white alphas. I think they've got a slight shimmer to them, but it's very, very slight, so it's not real noticeable. This is definitely not one of the main features of the layout, but if you look at it does have a very slight shimmer to them. And I'm also pulling out my white foam alpha set here, and these are from American Crafts. It's their daiquiri font in white foam, and I'm just putting number 2. So the Yuletide set did not have like a number sign or anything like that, so I just used, and plus it was going to be too big if I did use the number 2 as well from that large alpha set, so I just put out this white foam thicker set instead. Kind of trying to figure out the placement. So I have my little lost tooth report that I had stamped out previously, and anytime he loses a tooth, I go ahead and document it on that lost tooth report so I don't lose the date or forget the date or anything like that. But I am going to re-stamp that. So it was originally stamped and I had written on it with a blue pen, and I don't like the way that the blue looks with the layout, so I end up pulling out my stamp set here after I glue down my title. And I'm going to re-stamp that. So I tried stamping it in the Memento Tuxedo Black, which is what I had originally stamped it in, but it's not. And my Memento pad is slightly dry, but I do have a re-inker. But even when I re-ink it, it's not a real dark black ink. And so I end up pulling out my Hero Art Shadow Ink and Charcoal. It's a mid-tone ink. And that gives me a little bit more of a crisper, darker stamp image, plus it's just a little bit crisper looking. And then I go ahead and use one of my Stettler Tri Plus fine liner pens to write down the exact same information. It's just not in the blue color, it's in a black color instead. I also have these Puffy tooth stickers, and I believe I got these from maybe Walmart. So they might be like the Sticko brand or something like that, but they're just a puffy white sticker. And a lot of the teeth have like different facial expressions on them. A lot of them are ones that I probably won't use, but there are still a few on there that I will use. I'm using this washi strip from the kit that I had put together, and I just don't like how you can see the dark gray through the washi strip, so I'm going to back it on some white cardstock and also cut a little banner end on one side and then re-glue this to the background paper. And that just makes it so that the teal is really a true teal and that the gray doesn't show through from the back paper to the front. So I've been gone for quite a bit. This is my first layout that I've done probably in about a month. Yeah, probably about a month. We recently moved and I'm still working through getting my craft room organized. We just moved earlier, like the second week of December. So yeah, I mean, my craft room is still quite a disaster, but I have a lot of things like these. I have a lot of pages already planned out where I've already got the photos printed, not the papers or anything picked out, but I already have the photos printed. And I have some kits that I'm working with, just like this kit that I had put together previously. So hopefully I'll be back in my scrapbook room doing more layouts for you guys soon. But since I have taken some time off, having the Something Inspiration Team prompts, like the something big, something new, all of that, it's been quite nice to actually kind of have this as my jumping off layout, I suppose you can say, because it gives me something to kind of like an inspirational thing. When I haven't scrapbooked in a while, I really enjoy scrapbooking, but sometimes when I haven't scrapbooked in a while, I need a little bit of something to kind of get me going, get the creative juices flowing again. So this was perfect. This was really a perfect layout to kind of have as my first layout back kind of thing. Now I'm going through the chipboard pieces that I have in my little kit here. I'm going to pull out a few. I'm pulling out this camera. It's got the grays. It's like a dark gray / grayish navy color. And then it's also got the teal and the white. So it goes right along with the back with my layout here. And then I also am going to pull out that top circle one that says good vibes. And then I have pulled out the one with the little paper airplane as well. So I'm still kind of trying to sort out where these ones are going to go, but I go ahead and glue down my camera, and then I'm just kind of fiddling around with the other chipboard pieces to see if I do want to go ahead and put them down. And I go ahead and put down this paper airplane, and I am using some Tombow Mono multi-glue to glue this down. I don't like to actually just rely on the adhesive that's on the chipboard piece. I don't feel like it's strong enough. I'm afraid that it will come off later, and so I'll go ahead and glue those down. Now, also my Puffy stickers are very removable, I suppose you say. They are not permanent at all, so I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of that Tombow Mono multi-glue to put those down as well. I've got one up there at the top with that little cluster. I've got one down here by the number 2, and then I've got one on my lost tooth report. I'm just going to go ahead and trim off the excess piece of that washi strip that I had hanging off, and then I'm going to go ahead and kind of look at the lost tooth report, and that's when I realized that I don't really like the color ink that I had used, and I'm going to re-stamp that in just a moment. But I did have these little Puffy stickers as well, and I take that little aqua star and put it right in the center of my camera. Just kind of fiddling around with the placement of this lost tooth report, trying to decide where I want it to go. But it's going to settle over here on the right side, tucked up right under that little washi strip. And I will have to trim off the bottom of the lost tooth report so I can stick it under a little bit further under that little washi strip that I already have adhered down. So I'm pulling out the stamp set. I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. Like I said, I had originally done it in the Memento Tuxedo Black, and then I end up pulling out my Hero Arts, Hero Arts Shadow Ink. It's a mid-tone shadow ink in charcoal, and it's just going to give me that darker, a little bit more clear impression of the stamping. And I think that's just because I really, really like the Memento Tuxedo Black ink, but I just found that the charcoal ink was a little bit darker and a little bit more consistent, as you can see. I'm going to move my little Puffy tooth sticker over to this one, and then trim it out and tuck it right under that washi strip, just like I had the original one done. I love having this stamp set. I actually really enjoy using stamps on my layouts. I just don't always remember to use stamps on my layout. So I really like the fact that I already have these stamps stamped out, and I go ahead and document the information so that it's ready to be included in a layout whenever I scrapbook those photos. This is actually, I think he's already lost 6 teeth at this point in time, and he's got his 7th one loose right now. So this is the first of the 6 teeth that I have actually scrapbooked. I've got some scrapbooking to do, clearly, as you can see. And with me taking some time off here recently just to do the move, I've gotten even more behind. But that's okay. I have lots of scrapbooking to do. I have some little word strips here that I'm trying to see if I like how any of those look on this layout. And then I also have some icon stickers. Having a kit to work with, I feel like always makes it nice to be able to pull out and try different things whenever you are creating a layout. And so these Puffy stickers here and these little icon stickers and word strip stickers are just another way to be able to show what I mean whenever you pull out a product, try it around a couple places on your layout, see if it works, audition it a little bit, kind of get a feel for it, and then you actually make it permanent whenever you stick it down or adhere it with a little bit more glue. I'm playing around with some enamel dots here, trying to decide if I want to put those on this layout as well. The teals really match perfectly with these enamel dots in the background papers in the layout, and so I really felt like it was a nice way to add something to the layout without it being quite so overwhelming. I've got a couple little die cuts here that I'm flipping through to see. I'm looking for anything that's in those same colors, and I found this one that says the little things. So I'm just kind of playing around with it right here under my little title cluster to see if it's something that works for me. And then this top one says a wild adventure. I like pulling out all the ones that could potentially work and just trying them on the layout to see if they actually work with what I'm going for before I'd adhere anything down. Just tried a few things, moved around a couple things, keeping that same color scheme. I felt like the top had too much teal and not enough kind of that grayish blue, and then the bottom didn't have any of the teal and still already had that grayish blue. So I just kind of changed the placement of those and seeing if any of that works. And so this A Wild Adventure is going to go down here at the bottom. Just adhering that with a little bit more of that Tombow Mono multi-glue, Tombow Mono multi-glue, that's right. And then adding this, the little things up here at the top. And then that should pretty much finish out this layout. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. And I challenge you to use something big on your layout, whether it's a big photo or a big title or a big spot of journaling or whatever. All right, guys, thank you so much. And make sure you go over to the Crafty Channel Surf Facebook group to see what other people have created. All right, guys, thank you so much. Bye.